second coming of Christ and the devil all wrapped up in the same person.
Lose the ego. Free yourself from the restrictions of self. Move with the rhythm of nature. Commune with the trees and the waters. Don't ask why. Be. But remember, the wall of Armageddon is coming. Everything is gonna be destroyed. Amen. But not the chosen ones. No. And when the whole world comes crashing down, when Armageddon is over, it is we who will survive. When we rise from the ashes of Armageddon, well, we gonna need our future generation with us. Shut the fuck up, Leslie! Shut up! We are the chosen.
Amen.
Charlie said there was going to be a racial war and that white man was going down and black man would be on top.
At the time, in the 60s, it wasn't so far-fetched to believe that maybe there was going to be a race war. The times were very unsettled and violent. The Black Panthers were coming up and saying Black Power, and Watts blew up in flames.
They were anticipating, at that point, a war between blacks and whites, but they were not going to be a part of it. During the war, he convinced his followers, he said, I'm going to take you to the bottomless pit in the desert, a place he derived from Revelation 9 in the Bible, which is all about Armageddon. He said, the bottomless pit is a land of milk and honey, 12 types of fruit on every tree. Manson thought the black man was going to win this war. He said it was their karma, their turn to take over. They'd been stepped on by the white man for centuries. But Manson was a racist, and he believed that blacks were subhuman, that they were less evolved than the white man. So it was their turn to win the war, but he said, Blackie will never be able to handle the reins of power because Blackie only knows what whitey's told him to do. So he said the black man would have to turn over the reins of power to those white people who had survived, whereupon he said, we'll come out of the bottomless pit and we'll take over the leadership of the world. He convinced them that this Armageddon was going to bring about a new and a better social order. And he used the Bible and the Beatles as foundations and support for what he said.
Clem, man, you gotta hear this. The Beatles are talking to Charlie, and I got that message loud and clear, man. That message loud and clear. It's helter-skelter, man! It's helter-skelter! Yeah!
When the Beatles' White Album came out, Charlie listened to it over and over and over and over again. He was quite certain that the Beatles had tapped in to his spirit, the truth, that everything was going to come down, that the black man was going to rise. It wasn't that Charlie listened to the White Album and started following what he thought the Beatles were saying. It was the other way around. He thought that the Beatles were talking about what he had been expounding for years. Every single song on the White Album, he felt that they were singing about us. The song Helter Skelter, he was interpreting that to mean the blacks were going to go up and the whites were going to go down.
Helter Skelter represented the last, final, destructive war on the face of this earth between men. And he called that war Helter Skelter. The Beatles were his heroes, but he felt if he were given a chance, he could outdo the Beatles. What Manson really wanted to achieve, he wanted to become a recording star. His first contact with anyone of any substance would be Dennis Wilson of the Beach Boys. Dennis had picked up Patricia Krenwinkel and another member of the family, hitchhiking on Pacific Coast Highway in Malibu, and he brought them back to his home on Sunset Boulevard. Manson and the family were living there for a while.
It's like a test of enlightenment to see how far you're into the drugs, man.
People have got to see what you got, Charlie. You'll have recording producers lining up into the deserts.
You got that right, man.
Dennis Wilson, I believe, was fascinated with Charlie's mind and the kind of music he wrote. He was bored with the Beach Boy sound, and he wanted to do something more. And Dennis himself tried to record the family, Charlie and the family, several times at his recording studio at his brother's house. He saw great potential in Charlie.
Hey, you heard of Melcher? Producers of Birds, Terry Melcher. He would love this. He would love the look, the vibe.
I dig the Birds, man.
I will set it up. You two are gonna love each other.
Wanna dance?
Dennis thought that Charlie could be a rock star. He introduced Charlie to people in Hollywood, and he was always talking him up, telling whoever that they should listen to him. Dennis took Charlie to parties. At one of the parties was Terry Melcher, and he introduced him to Terry Melcher, who was Doris Day's son.
There's a time for living. The time keeps on flying. Think you're loving, baby, and all you're doing is crying. Can you feel?
Terry Melcher came out to listen to the family one time in '69. I remember that Charlie was very nervous. I think Charlie thought that he was going to be famous. Charlie wanted a record contract from Terry Melcher, and he thought Terry Melcher was the person that might make him a star.
The sad, sad game. Mad game.
Well, Terry, I believe this is your stop.
It was good to meet you, Charlie. You and the whole family.
So, we got a deal or what?
I'll get back to you. You guys, you have a great night, all right? Okay?
That man is a fucking pig.
The very first time he went to Cielo Drive, Melcher was living there. And then Melcher moved out, either in late '68 or early 1969, and who moved in? Sharon Tate and her husband, Roman Polanski.
Terry Melcher said, "I'm very interested, and I will give you a call real soon." So, of course, Charlie took your word as your bond in prison. If you say something, you've got to mean it. And Charlie waited for that call, and he never got that call.
Hey, Wilson, my man. You a hot fella to locate. Where you been at? Huh. Well, we're here, we're good, we're ready. Uh-huh. Yeah. I still ain't heard nothing about that deal, though. Uh-huh. So where's Melcher at? Oh, he is. So,